First, on CBS Mornings, we are excited to boldly go to our next guest, Star Trek actor Paul Wesley. He returns as Lieutenant James Tiberius Kirk in the new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds on Paramount+. Wesley plays a young Kirk before, obviously, he was promoted to captain, that's why he's a lieutenant, and became commander of the USS Enterprise, an iconic role played by William Shatner. There he is in the original series. TOS, we call it on Reddit. This week's episode takes place in an alternate reality where Wesley plays an over-the-top actor in the role of a familiar captain in a 1960s sci-fi series. Check it out.
Cap, in the past hour, we have had 14 more crew members report to medbay on account of melancholia. I have seen this only once before, in the war.
Then we'll need a leg up.
But Captain, we're outside of regulation space.
Don't lecture me on jurisdiction, Lieutenant. I wrote the book on space, jurisdiction. And I am known for my diction.
It's great.
Oh my gosh.
So
Paul
good.
Wesley is here. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
So I was just telling you that I love your performance as Lieutenant Kirk because the performance of William Shatner and even Chris Pine in the films has become sort of iconic, but you have your own way of portraying Lieutenant Kirk.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I told you that you do exceedingly well is you move like the Starfleet captain that we've come to know and love. And so what were you thinking about when you developed your own take?
Well, so first of all, thank you. I rewatched every episode of TOS prior to getting on set. So I think like a lot of it becomes subconscious. You know, you sort of like, you watch so much of William Shatner.
Kind of downloaded a little bit.
Exactly. But then at the same time, I made a conscious decision. I thought about should I imitate or try to emulate William Shatner in any way? And I thought, God, he did such an amazing job. He was so iconic. Why not do my own spin? And this is pre-captain, so maybe he's still sort of figuring it out. But I'm glad that you caught on to some of the sort of movements and some of the pauses in the speech and things like that. But with this character in this clip, Maxwell Saint, I got to sort of go big and do a satire and sort of have fun with that sort of that 1960s Shatner-esque Shakespearean sort of.
And Shatner gave you his blessing, did he not?
He did. He didn't have to, and it was so classy of him. He tweeted me, "Take care of my crew and my ship," which was so. Yeah, it was like. It really
that's beautiful.
It was such a beautiful moment for me. Yeah.
Now you say that Star Trek is one of your favorite projects that you have ever worked on.
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, because
you've done some cool things.
Thank you.
Great resume.
Yeah, and not to say the other ones weren't great, but what I love about this show, first of all, it's incredibly optimistic, and it's a sort of it's an escapist playground, like in the sense that we get to watch this imaginative world filled with hope and positivity, inclusivity, and it's
action-packed as well.
And it's action-packed, but on top of that, it's a serialized show, but every episode is its own movie.
Yeah.
You get to play a different character in a weird way, or experience a different world in every episode. So as an actor, it's thrilling.
Yeah.
You were also in Vampire Diaries.
Yes.
You are, no stranger to Comic-Con. What has it been like to be embraced by Trekkies? Like, what is the Trekkie cinematic universe like?
Yeah, how is that
for someone
different
like you?
from sci-fi?
It's definitely Vampire Diaries and Star Trek are two very different demographics. You have.
I can see that in my head. I'm envisioning it right now.
Yeah, exactly. You have obviously a lot of much younger, sort of female skewing fans on the Vampire Diaries side, and you have like sort of the older people who ask you very scientific questions.
Very specific questions.
As you know,
Yes.
as a Trekkie, there's an entire like encyclopedia essentially.
Yes, that's right.
That is filled with, because Star Trek debuted in the 60s.
Yep.
So you have 60 years of remakes and stories, and you're adding to the canon. So it's such a vast world. Whereas with Vampire Diaries, we sort of created our own sort of fantasy based on books, but loosely.
Yeah.
And so it's much less sort of daunting in a way,
I don't know if you guys ever saw, maybe you've seen that spoof that William Shatner did on SNL,
I
where
did,
he
I
went to a
did.
Star Trek convention,
Yeah,
and he
I've
points to
seen that.
John Lovitz, and you there, have you ever kissed a girl? And Lovett's like,
I've seen it all.
it's
I've
so
seen
great.
it all. Yeah.
But the fans, we say that we would love to see, and I know the showrunners are thinking about this, a Captain Kirk first year at the helm of the Enterprise. Would that be something that would interest you?
Listen, I'm waiting for the call. If it were up to me, it would be something that I would do in a heartbeat.
Wow.
And, it would be an honor. I think there's an amazing amount of story to still tell prior to Kirk's first appearance in TOS, which is Where No Man Has Gone Before.
That's right.
So
great.
there's still a lot of story to tell.
Love it. Paul Wesley, you're amazing. Season 3 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds is streaming right now on Paramount Plus, folks.
That's right. That does it for
Plus.
us. Stick around for CBS Mornings Plus, and we will see you tomorrow on CBS Mornings.